Now, one of the things I noticed, he doesn't often throw both hooks in a lot of times. I've talked about this before too. Like he'll put one hook in and then control the hip, control the ankle, and ride. And it's kind of reminiscent to me of some other guys like Askren will do these type of rides where they use Merkle hooks or they just use like single leg rides. And GSP was doing this when he fought Nick Diaz, for example, and he never threw hooks in once, because I find there's a vulnerability when you put both hooks in, right? Because what I tell people, most dominant positions, you have full control of being able to disengage whenever you want. So like if I see it from a street fight perspective, I'm fighting you, I got mount, I see your buddy coming, I can just pop off and go. If I have back mount with both hooks and you're on top of me, I'm trying to choke you. You
don't have that option.
Your buddy comes, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
I'm going to get soccer kicked, right? So like that's the one drawback to me on the back. But the other thing is that your weight's on me.
Yeah.
So technically, if you're a really big guy, I'm eating the damage of your weight. So when you're able to ride like wrestlers do, they generally never have the guy on top of them. Yeah. They're riding from the top, maybe one leg hook or just controlling the hips, wrist control. You have the liberty of disengaging whenever you want, and you're getting weight pressure on them.
I totally agree with that. And I think that wrestlers are correct. And I think they're, bringing their wrestling mindset where you don't be on bottom unless you have to. If you're going to go for a guillotine or a kill, sometimes you may have their naked choking up on your back, but like you shouldn't be on your back unless you have to. And I think Khabib brings this mindset, and I'm with it. Even like when I didn't start with wrestling, I actually never wrestle. I got whatever wrestling I know I got from MMA. I had that mind. I started leaning towards that mindset because I'm thinking, you have to start thinking how the judges think. If I end up this round on bottom, it doesn't matter. He just got out of a naked choke. I'm still in the round on bottom. I'm going to lose this fight. I got to stay on top. And once you start looking for top position, you realize that having two hooks in is not always advantageous. In fact, a lot of times, I don't know what you call it in wrestling, but like I'd have one foot on the ground and I have what I call an anchor on the far ankle. Sometimes I grab my own ankle and I just like, I'd find positions to keep at least one foot on the ground at all times.
Yeah.
For exactly the reasons you're describing. You get to dominate top position, not fall bottom if you don't have to. And then you open up for punches and you end up with this sort of control off the cage a lot of times, like similar to what Khabib does. And you don't necessarily compromise your dominant position in case something goes wrong. Whereas BJJ, as a self-defense art, and, applying to MMA, a lot of times it is reckless because it goes all submission. Like, no, calm down, man.
Yeah.
Calm down. I'm all for the submission too, but like, being on top in a fight is important.
Yes.
Like you would be losing a fight if you just like end up down bottom. And I teach my guys this, like you don't go, if you do, for example, go for a submission at the end of the round, which is something everyone teaches.
Yeah.
Make sure that you end the round with the submission. So let him get out of the submission and let this guy end up in a dominant spot because the judges are so stupid that they're going to see what? They're going to see that the guy ended the round on top, even though he just barely got out of submission. They're not going to reward you for almost finishing. They're going to reward the guy for escaping and just happened to finishing on top, finishing the round on top.
Correct. Yeah. Like one of my guys, Jason, just defended his Titan FC title. He's a good rear naked choke guy. The guy he was fighting was defending his back really well. So he waited until there was about 20 seconds left on the clock to go for an armbar. Yeah. Unfortunately for him, he finished the armbar. Yeah. He got it. But like that's how I would always play it as well. Because if you leave too much time on the clock and you go for an arm lock and you miss, now you've given the guy a minute to work on top, which could sway the opinion very rapidly or land some punishing blows.